Pombe ivunguliwe kila mahali.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? I don't know. Also guys, I decided to have a rant Saturday, so I'll be ranting about everything and anything every Saturday, and I'll be posting at 3 p.m. I figured that's the most appropriate time. That's when everyone is like, you have done your thorough cleaning, you've refreshened up, and so on this Saturday's rant, we will start by ranting about the recent public holiday that we had on Moi's burial. Our former president, like the second president of Kenya. So I'll start by giving a brief history about Moi, because I'm a history student. So yeah, okay, Moi became the president of Kenya in 1978. That is when he succeeded Kenyatta, because Kenyatta died, and by then the constitution had stated clearly that in case the president dies, the vice president will succeed him automatically. I believe in it even now. That's how the constitution states, like, in case the president dies, the vice president automatically becomes the president of the nation. So Moi was really a patriot to Kenyatta, such that he really didn't want to disagree with anything Kenyatta said. Like, you know what Kenyatta had left behind, he wanted to continue with that thing. Like, yeah, you know, that's why he elected Kibaki, who is a Kikuyu, as his vice president. He also retained the cabinet of Kenyatta, also the parliament. Actually, he retained everything Kenyatta had left behind. And also, he introduced the theme of Nyayoism, which meant following the footsteps. So in his Nyayoism theme, he wanted to follow the footsteps of Kenyatta. He really believed in Mzee Kenyatta. The first thing Moi did when he entered in power was to tour all the communities in Kenya. Doesn't matter the tribe. He wanted to gain popularity among all the tribes in Kenya. He also released the political detainees. He did a lot of things. He introduced Maziwa ya Nyayo for all children who are going to school. Like, he did quite a lot of things so that he could gain popularity. He also even stopped the colonialists from buying land from Kenyans. Like, they used to buy at very cheap prices back then. You know, still they were still in Kenya, those who remained. So he did a lot of things to gain popularity. But then, you know, as it's very normal for people, you won't like gain popularity from everyone. Some will have a negative opinion about you. So Moi discovered he still had opposers, and that's when Moi introduced reward of loyalty, whereby you are rewarded according to how loyal you are to Moi. For instance, for example, you have a project. If you want that project to succeed, you will only succeed if you are loyal to him. If you are not loyal to him, your project will fail and nobody will listen to you. Actually, guys, that's how corruption started in Kenya, because, like, you know, projects were rewarded according to loyalty, favorism, and everything. By 1982, this thing had become too much. There was too much corruption. There was abuse of power. There was also, the economy had gone down. You know, that's when now there was a coup attempt to throw away Moi by the Kenya Air Force, like Kenya Army. Now that coup really failed terribly, because Moi had his shit together. And after that, he detained a lot, more than 2,000 people actually from the army were detained. He also akafuta hao wengine kazi, and he created his own army, which, you know, the previous one had Luos, it had Kikuyus, and you know, they are the largest communities, so it was easy to throw him out. So in his new army, or air force, his new force, it consisted of communities like Kalenjins, where he came from, and these small communities. Yeah, and also that is when he introduced something called party card, whereby you could not do anything without a party card. Even the traders at the grassroots levels could not trade without a party card. You see, you could not buy or sell anything without a party card. You know, it was very interesting. And also, we see that is when people like Charles Njonjo resigned, like they were pushed to resign, because, for example, Charles Njonjo was accused of being a traitor of the nation. Also, all organizations came. That's when international human rights organizations intervened in 1991, because they accused the government of Moi for gross violation of human rights, a lot of abuse of power, you know, a lot of things. So they came to intervene and also to help people push for multi-party. You know, by that time, political oppositions, student leaders, others, church leaders, they were pushing for multi-party, you know, and they were really mistreated. For example, others like Ngugi wa Thiong'o, that's when they went to exile. These political leaders and those people who are opposing him were really mistreated. They were taken to Nyayo House, ama ilikuwa Nyati House. They were really beaten and detained. Their families were brutally treated, beaten, mistreated. Their houses were burned. Yani, he really did a lot. And he also banned the publications from the media. The media could not report anything about that. Also, this is the time when a person like Roberto Uko died. He was brutally murdered, and you know, Moi stopped the investigations. This convinced Kenyans that he was behind that murder. We see there was a lot of things, a lot of mistreatment. So when international organizations came and intervened, that's when now Kenya was granted and it became a multi-party state. And in 1992, we had our first elections. But again, Moi won, because you see the opposition, they were so divided. For instance, Kikuyus had Kibaki. Luos had Oginga Odinga in Kadu. You know, now Kikuyus are divided with Kibaki. Luos are divided with Oginga Odinga. And then Moi had to win because he had all the other two small tribes. And this now caused a lot of chaos, a lot of tribal fights based on tribal lines. A lot of Kenyans died, a lot of people were misplaced, they were rendered homeless, especially the Luos and the Kikuyus, and also the Kalenjins, but mostly Luos and Kikuyus, because they were the ones fighting. Also, political leaders opposition leaders continued to be mistreated. There was a lot of chaos in the country. And also, now 1997 was the second time they had the elections. Now, due to all these divisions, again Moi won the 1997 elections. Again, there were a lot of chaos, and because now people are still opposing the Luos, the Kalenjins, those large tribes, they were really opposing the new government. Now, also, that's when before 2002, I don't remember which year, the international organizations once more intervened, and that's when Moi was barred from vying for another election. So that's how in 2022 Moi resigned, or he retired from politics after 24 good years. 24 years of ruling, guys. That's it. So let's stop there. We can see the strengths of Moi. For instance, living for 95 years, guys, that's a blessing. You know, it's not easy to live for all those years. Actually, right now, the span of life is 65 or 75, something of that sort. So, really, that's another strength. You know, when people are pushing for multi-party, you know what Moi said? You know, Moi always said that multi-party will bring ethnicity or tribalism. And we can see it right now. There is a lot of tribal politics, and you know, tribalism has become rampant in this nation, and the way there are many tribes in Kenya, so you can imagine, to some extent he was really right. So that's us for him. Also, let's not forget, Moi usually really loved this country. He also loved East Africa at large, because we see from it, for example, when the Hutus and Tutsi of Rwanda were fighting the Rwanda genocide, he accommodated a lot of people who flee from those attacks. Like, Moi had a big heart for East Africa and for all. The famous maziwa ya Nyayo. People really enjoyed maziwa ya Nyayo, man. It should have been like, ingeendelea tu hadi sahi. Everyone in Twitter or social media right now, they are praising Moi for maziwa ya Nyayo. Like, that is the most remarkable thing he did during his time. So we can't say Moi was really badly off, but he also had his weaknesses. For example, ruling for 24 years. 24 good years. You are the president. And you know what made him to stop ruling is, like, he was bad from another election. So I know if he was not bad, he still would have won. He probably would have won and continued ruling. For example, kama ule prezo, anaitwa nani? Ule prezo wa Zimbabwe. Okay, I forgot his name. Yeah, you know, Africans really love power. So that was really a bad thing. Also, the torture, the extrajudicial killings, like, that was a very bad thing. Like, that's a weakness for more than say somebody is perfect. No one will ever be perfect. So what do you guys think? Did we deserve that public holiday, or did we not deserve that public holiday? I don't know. To some extent, I feel we wasted time, but to some other extent, I feel it was a good time for me to meditate and come up with this video. So I don't know. So guys, bye. See you on my next rant. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. I see you. You want to leave before giving this video a thumbs up? Make sure you give it before you leave it. Don't worry, history was way back then in high school. And also, if you hear some background noises, don't mind them too, because you know, kuishi kwa rental, that's normal. So guys, don't forget to subscribe. Now I'm watching you. Subscribe before you leave. Bye.